Hello, everybody. So welcome back to Reality Realness. I'm Chantele Francis here with my lovely co-hosts. We have Fanta. Say hello, Fanta.
Hi, how's it
And
going?
of course, we have Michelle. Say hi.
Hello.
I did want to start off with this episode recap, but just kind of I just wanted to talk about a little bit about what's been going on in the world today. We wanted to address it to a certain extent. We did want to thank MTV for being an ally of the people of color and the Black Lives Matter movement. From my experience, I've been watching this show since I was in high school or in my teens, like a really, really long time. I've been watching it since the beginning, and I do find it has been really, I'm gonna cry. I didn't expect I was gonna cry. But it was one of the shows where you did get to see people competing that looked like me. And there's not a lot of shows that had that when you're growing up. And it was a competitive show and it was a reality show, and it was something attainable. And it opened the door for a lot of people of color, a lot of people of diverse backgrounds, a lot of people that homosexual, heterosexual, whatever. It seemed like it had its doors open for all of us. And so within the last few days, I've seen many posts of yours proving yourself to be an ally and sharing a lot of really valuable information. So I still wanted to do an episode this week because I do want to say thank you for being an ally for myself and people within my community. And thank you. So, Dan, did you have anything to say?
Yeah, this is I don't think we can come up with the words to describe what's happening in the world right now and how this movement is coming together and coming to be. So thank you to all of the allies out there, and keep pushing. Don't take your foot off the gas. We still have work to do. Please donate to important causes in the community. If you can't donate, if you don't have the means right now, find petitions, do reading, fight for the families of Ahmaud Arbery, fight for the family of Breonna Taylor, fight for George Floyd. We have some work to do, but we will get there. Thank you. Thank you.
And Michelle, anything from you?
Yeah, and I just want to say, first of all, thank you to Chantele and Fanta for just being such great educators to someone like me. And I feel like being a part of this community of challenge lovers is just so rewarding. And I'm very, very committed more than ever to learning every single day and educating myself. And I'm just really grateful that this change that's been needed for so long is the wheels are turning, and I'm just very I'm very thankful for you two, and yeah, that's all I have to say right now.
Thanks for being an awesome ally, Michelle. Wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, and it's so good that it was such a good episode this week. We were blessed with a great episode.
Yes, for sure.
In my opinion, it was everything that I want an episode to be. Starting off with a great title called The Final Countdown. So you knew it was coming. I mean, they're talking specifically about the final countdown to these skulls, but something was a brewing. So it just kind of started with Wes and Nani kind of just talking about like the final and things that are going on. And I could feel, I don't know if it's because I'm different, because like I'm changed from this week to last week, and so I just like I'm seeing like them as like friends, and I could feel like the energy, like something's gonna happen. Like I don't know if maybe it's the editors, like I don't know, but how are you guys feeling at the beginning of this episode? Because like I was in.
I feel like there was, yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just like, I felt as though I was like, something wicked this way comes. Like this is like, feel it like crackling. Like this is gonna be an episode where some shit's gonna go down.
Yeah, I definitely could feel it in the air, and they were setting it up from the beginning, like oh, like something crazy is going to happen. How is it going to go down?
Wes and Nani, like they were talking to Anissa and like being like, yeah, girl, go, you got your skull. And they're like, man, we gotta go, we gotta get our skull. And like, okay, so like if Wes is starting to be like, we gotta get our skull, like, cause Nani has to be going in next day. Like, that's like it's a.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just got chills, so I think it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, Nani has to be going in next episode. But like, that was the beginning where I was like, oh man, this is the one. Like, I think Wes is going to be going in this today. I thought that, I don't know if this was like a red herring, but when they had the conversation with like Josh talking to his family and then Corey talking to his family, I'm like, oh, is it going to be a double elimination? Because I already thought that Wes was going to be going in this episode.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, maybe like it's a double elimination or maybe it's a complete red herring. I'm like, what's happening here? Are they going in? Because like they've never showed Corey talking to Taylor on the phone, showing the baby bump, you know, and like Josh with his family.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of the Josh thing. I was like, this is going to lead to something. Like, I thought something, you know. I was actually scared for him. Like, I was like, something going on with his family. And then I was like, oh, he's just emotional because he wants to support them. I don't know. I wasn't really sure what was going on there.
Did you think of it? Were you like feeling anything there too, Fanta, or no? No. What about seeing Taylor?
I have some things to answer. I have some things to answer about that after, but at the time I didn't think anything of it because I was just like, they're just giving Josh some airtime, and I was.
I wrote down like, okay, but
I was annoyed to see Taylor. I don't care for her.
I mean,
do they just have to sign a waiver for that type of thing? But or because she's part of the MTV family, do you think she got a little coinage for like being shown on?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think I get any money for that.
I
think but it's like a little like oh, remember Taylor? I'm Taylor. Remember me? I got Corey's baby in my belly. Remember me? I'm Taylor.
I think she strategized with that one because like she saw, well, obviously Ryder's a beautiful baby. Cheyenne's
gorgeous.
Like no matter what, like that combination was going to create a little beautiful magical baby. But like Cheyenne has got so popular on Teen Mom, and then Corey, he started to become more active, and like I'm happy that however he became more of an active father, like thank you, like whatever. But you know, the two of them and Child like now have like millions of followers, and like it became a big deal, and Corey became more famous through Teen Mom OG than he did through The Real World and The Challenge. And so Taylor being the girlfriend now wanting to be on Teen Mom more, and like at that point Cheyenne didn't really want her to be around her daughter because she didn't feel like she was like a serious like stepmom vibe. But I kind of feel that it was strategic a little bit on Taylor's part to like get into that MTV, you know, financial plan,
royalty or whatever it is.
I mean, I just
I can see that. Taylor just like she gives me bad vibes. Yeah. Her on X on the beach, I was just like, that's awful.
All I've seen is that clip, and it's more than enough. I don't need to see any.
Yeah, of her spitting on Alicia. Yeah, that's
when they got together. Like that's when they were like a thing. Like they were both exes on that show, correct? Like, and then they met there. Or were they an exes?
I think they were like the first set of singles.
But that means they both had exes come on. Yeah. They did. Yeah. I think they might have. Maybe they dated. Maybe they flirted before. I'm not sure. Maybe they slept together before. I'm not sure. But they definitely got together on that show.
Yes.
And so I'm just like,
there was DM. Like they were DMing before that.
Slid into her DMs. But I just was always like, I felt that she latched onto him like more as soon as he got the fame and the notoriety from Teen Mom OG. That's how it seemed. And I don't find her to be a great person. So
yeah,
I just am not giving her the benefit of the doubt here. Sorry, Taylor lovers. I'm being a hater right now. I'm sorry. Don't come for me.
Write me a letter. Explain your stance.
Let me know her great qualities and like, you know.
Yeah. But genuinely, like, if you love Taylor, please DM me. And
we need to know. We need to know why.
No.
So the next part is that they're coming on, walking on, and I actually forgot that it was trivia. So much has been going on this week. I forgot.
We love trivia.
Trivia! I'm so happy.
You're as happy as TJ was because he was dying.
TJ was in such a good
Yeah. TJ had me laughing this episode, like cackling.
Yeah, but TJ loves, obviously we know TJ loves trivia. I love trivia. You love trivia. And it's because, like, the questions are so gosh darn easy. Like, and this was their multiple choice. They didn't make them spell anything backwards or anything.
Yeah, because they knew, like, if they made them, for that bunch, if they made Nelson spell,
oh my God, Nelson!
Yeah. TJ was laughing already is what I wrote down. So I thought it was interesting though that it was already hard to hold on. Is that because he just wants to see really awkward bad falls? Because, like, you know, make it a little easier for them to, like, hang. Like, they were just already just like.
Yeah, I think it was colder than they anticipated.
Colder?
Yeah, and they were saying it was, like, wet too. But I liked that. Like, it kind of changed up a little bit because usually when they have that, it's like you get 2 proper strikes. But it's like if you have 1 strike and then you fall. Like, I liked that idea.
Me too.
Yeah, I didn't mind the 2 tiers for sure. They usually do like a 2-tier, like and then like.
But this one was like most people just fell.
Yeah,
on the first
hard to hold on to.
Hilarious.
It was really hilarious, but I mean, we didn't like to go through all the people. Did you have any, like, the women that went? Did you have any standouts? One.
Honestly, I like Melissa's personality more and more. Even though I'm like, girl, like, how you ever gonna win a final or even try to do a final if, like, all these things just terrify you so much? I mean, I don't know.
And it's really weird actually because I'm rewatching Vendettas now.
That's what she's doing. It makes me feel better. That's what she said to me. She's like, I'm watching Vendettas to feel better.
Anything that I have, like, an emotional capacity for, but I'm rewatching Vendettas, and she was so spicy, and she was just like yelling in Cam's face and just like, I'm not afraid of anything, like doing MMA, like blah blah blah, this stuff. And then, like, now this season she's just like so quiet and in the corner. I'm like, what happened?
I mean, she is pregnant but doesn't know.
But yeah, she said at that point she noticed that she was gaining weight and stuff like that. So maybe she was, like, self-conscious. Maybe she didn't feel like right in her body anymore, and maybe she doesn't really want to go in. Like,
and I think maybe too, like, she got picked off for fighting with Kayla too. Like, I think she maybe was like, you know what? That's not worth it. I want to actually try to, like, make it as far as I can. And
I would love to see her in the final.
Yeah, like, I think she has matured. I want to hope she's matured. Seems like it.
I think so.
Oh,
but she's still like,
she is like 26. Like, I don't
know.
Maybe I'll look it up before the end of the show.
Stresses me out when the challengers are younger than me.
Oh, there's so many of them now too. I'm like, when they're saying, like, oh, old bananas, I'm like, oh, I guess I'm the old banana. Yeah.
I grew up with these people. What?
You're like, well, this one is 38, 39 old. Okay, I see that.
I'm older than Banana. I'm older than CT by 1 year.
But, like, you look good.
You'll do.
Thank you. I know, when I'm 10 years on you and, like, 15 on Michelle.
You're not 15.
I mean, I've looked this exact same age since I was 12 years old. So, I mean, I'm sure that I'm just going to look like this until I'm 70. And then I'll be like, I remember when CT. Okay. So I thought it was really funny. Actually, the funny moment that I saw was when Melissa was on the thing and CT goes to call out and she's like, I don't know, I don't care, just fucking hurry up or something like that. And TJ was like, actually, like, chuckled at the fact that she was, like, kind of sassy with him.
I love that. And yeah, for me, like, Jenny is just sort of, she wasn't really in the episode very much. Like, I think maybe that'll be a thing next week. Who knows? But, like, that was sort of just kind of meh. And And yeah, at first I had hope for Nani. Like I was like, oh, maybe this is when the Nani will win. And then I was like, oh no.
And then it was D. And I was like, I mean, whatever. I really wanted Nani to win. I knew Anissa didn't care, obviously. Melissa, I didn't have high hopes for her. I didn't think that she's not smart, but like I felt that if she got a strike, she would fall. Like, so I just didn't expect her to do well necessarily. Maddie, what she just got it wrong and then she fell. I think.
Yeah, Maddie fell right at the beginning.
On one strike, she
didn't have. And how did Nani not know that an elephant comes out like it's a mammal? Like,
oh my god,
she thought it came out of a small egg.
And like I heard the eggs are small, and I was like,
that was the most confusing thing. I was like, egg? In what world is there an egg? What? Like,
yeah, it comes out of its trunk. Elephants lay their eggs through their trunks, and they're almost the size of a peanut.
And then they hatch, and then there is a baby.
And then suddenly they just grow and grow and grow and grow.
Grow into a big elephant. And that's the American education system.
Maybe. But I was just like, I thought when she got it right, I was like, yeah. I mean, it wasn't that hard of a question, but like, yay, Nani, you got one. And then they just have to leave that in for her, huh? Those editors. Like, they make her look smart-ish and then make her look dumb. So that was incorrect. And then D ends up winning. And Jenny automatically what? Didn't want to call. Oh yeah, what's her name? Jenny didn't want to call out D, so she picked Mel to fall. And I just was like, I
see why she's doing it though.
Yeah, it's fine.
She does have to be undercover, like, but just because D can get so off the handle sometimes, it's like I get why she's doing it, but I'm like, yeah, and especially it's not a girls' week, so she can kind of
lay low. But I wonder, like D does get so crazy, but I wonder if Jenny was like, oh, like babe, like oh whatever, I'm sorry, and like I gotta throw it over to you. But I feel like deep.
Like my other friend Melissa, I wanted her to have a chance to get a skull, like whatever, But I obviously I get why, and like it's just because I don't particularly like D, so I just didn't want her to win any more power, and so I was just hoping that she would do it. But it isn't really great for her game to show her cards to D that she's got her number,
Mm-hmm.
So that's true. Fine, I don't get to have my. So at this point, though, this is Johnny wanting to go in, and you have like a few little confessionals that like he wants to go in, he doesn't want to win, he wants to throw it. Do you think he's just A, saying this because A, that's true, or B that he doesn't want to look dumb in trivia, so like he's just going to throw it because he wants to win anyways?
I mean, well, I actually watched a bit of his live. I mean, and obviously it's Johnny Bananas, he embellishes everything, and but he talked about how on that day it was so cold and wet and he was so miserable from the moment the day started and they got there, and he was like, as soon as I held on to that, I was just like, there's no way I'm gonna stay up here, like I do not want to do this, and I'm ready to go in, and like I want to actively throw it, and like made the choice. But he said it was just like absolutely brutal out there.
If he's saying it's brutal, it must be pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's good why the girls went first. They didn't get cold and then have to go out and try to hold themselves to this like very awkward Survivor type contraption.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing? I almost forgot to say. After D wins, Wes gets this look on his face like he just still continues to just like fully believe that D is like his lab experiment.
Yeah.
Like he just like look in his eyes where he's just like, yeah, and I contributed to that. So
I'm like, dude, I want to send it back.
Like you taught her to swim. Okay, we get it.
Yeah, like and like I mean, okay, sure.
I just wish it was anybody. I almost even wish it was Ninja. Like,
no, don't say that. No. We pick D over Ninja. Not that we want to, but we did. just how it goes. That's just
I'd rather the lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Chantele, shame.
Come
shame.
on.
Shame on you.
Come on with that.
I know. I mean, I lost any potential maybe like for Ninjas when she blew up at Turbo that competition, and then they still won it. Like that.
Oh my!
Lost any sort of desire for her to do well in the competition.
And then she got mad at him for not accepting her apology right away.
And she's
we can't decide that.
That was so delusional.
Oh,
that was so delusional.
Sorry.
Like
so angry.
Sorry, we know this is a different season, but we still have the feels for it. But if somebody like screamed at me that way and then apologized the next day, I'd be like, yeah, cool, but I'm just gonna need a minute because that was wild.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I just need a minute.
And Turbo's a hothead, you know what I mean? Like, and he's probably like fuming and like he was probably really angry and really he's emotional too. So like he was probably going through a lot in that moment. And then they won, and then she wouldn't just allow him to be mad at her being an asshole. Like,
yeah, like
you're the asshole. Let him process it and decide whether or not he wants to talk to you ever again. Like, I probably would like be like, we're cool, but I never want to talk to you again.
Yeah, we're cool, but
I'm just remembering her again. Like, we need to move on from her. Just,
Another thing that I was pretty annoyed with, because okay, Swaggy gets this question right, and he has to send his strikeout to somebody. He sends it to who I automatically assumed that he was going to send it to was Josh.
Yeah, they had a fight.
Like, wow. I'm like, wow. Like, there's no wow there. Like, obviously he's gonna do that. Like, and then he's saying in his confessional, like, oh, like friendship's done. Like, that's it between me and him. And it's like, wait, you said that last week.
Yeah, you literally said that last week.
You already said it, John.
If you had the question right first, you would have done that to him.
Exactly.
Josh is the CEO of being butthurt. Like, he's always butthurt about something, and it's like, dude, like.
And it's always a personal attack. Like, it's always very personal against him, specifically him.
And I guess like what bothers me so much is that he's such a hypocrite. Like, and he was being called out, I think, appropriately by Swaggy last week. Like, he is the king of hypocrisy. Like, he would have done the same thing. We know this. Like, if he wants to go after Swaggy. If Swaggy comes after him, like, oh man, you going against like Big Brother Alliance code. It's like, what? He just got you first because he got his question right. Like,
yeah, agreed.
Anyways, I did feel slightly bad with everybody really making fun of him before.
That was a little. Yeah,
I didn't like that. I was really annoyed at how Dee was acting. I was like, "Are you in grade 8?" Like everyone,
I called it.
Like everyone is falling poorly. No one is going to look good when they fall on this challenge. Like Josh is like a pretty big dude. I couldn't believe that whole section. I was just like...
It was very unsettling.
Yeah. I just was kind of like, I mean, I'm not a fan of Josh, but I wouldn't want to feel how he felt in that moment by the people that weren't competing.
And I mean, TJ was laughing kind of at everyone. Like
TJ laughing, that's the thing. He loves it. He laughs, whatever. But like they were heckling and they were being kind of mean, in my opinion.
Yeah, they were.
I don't think they're doing it for the camera. Go ahead.
So was Jen too.
Yep.
Which I was like, huh, interesting. But yeah, TJ's an equal opportunist in making fun of everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody. And I guess like I don't even mind them laughing at people. Like, cause there's somebody did a fall that I think I had a chuckle at. Like, it was just so like, I think probably Nelson being like, like, you know, like just so like spastic or something. But I guess how they were doing it, it just seemed as that they were being kind of mean about it. Like, kind of like, I don't know.
It was malicious. Sure.
Pardon?
It was malicious for sure. Like, it's one thing to like, just like, whatever, like laugh at like Nelson and like he's not gonna think anything of it, like when he gets out of the water, but when there's like 4 girls like cackling at Josh and like predicting his falls because he's so clumsy and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, bitch, we know he's clumsy.
Yeah. I know I'm just an audience member, but if I was there, I would be like, I don't think I would have, I probably would have been like, no, guys, come on. Like, it sucks to fall. Like, we all had to do it or whatever, you know? I think. I hope so. I don't know.
I think it wouldn't be as extreme as D. Yeah.
No, who would? Nobody would. You'd be in your own zone, like figuring out, like, okay, oh, I think this person's gonna do well. Yeah, but like, I don't think I would be like, oh, he's gonna fall poorly. I don't know. I didn't like it. Yeah. So the next person to fall with an incorrect guess was Corey. Wes gets one right, and he actually strikes Corey. Did I say that wrong?
Yeah, he striked Corey.
And then Corey got one wrong and fell?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think Corey got one wrong first, and then Wes got him out. I don't really remember.
Oh, right, because you're allowed to get one wrong, and he didn't fall. Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't fall into the water.
Yeah, he held on.
So I wrote it down correctly. I'm misremembering. So Corey got a strike. He didn't fall, but then Wes got it correct and striked Corey. Corey fell next. Yeah. So then Nelson, I got a 50-50 chance. I love multiple choice. I got a 50-50 chance.
So classic Nelson. I mean, those are the parts of Nelson that I'm entertained by in a trivia week, you know? But I don't like the other sides, you know?
Yeah, he had another good line. Burger King. Shout out to the king, baby.
Oh my God. I'm so excited about Burger King.
That was everybody probably had to do one take each. Like, okay, we need this for the sponsors, guys. Like, it's Burger King this week. So, like, everybody, when you have their confession, I'm going to ask you a couple things about Burger King. So give me some energy. And so they probably each got one, and he got the sound clip this week.
Bring back the T-Mobile slider phone, please.
Oh my God. I love those days.
Early 2000s.
Oh, so good. I love how, like, was it Kyle that was like, please, like, I really, or who was it? I can't remember. So, okay, no, go ahead, and then I'll say.
What's happening? What happened? So Kyle gets it incorrect, but doesn't fall. I was surprised by this because Kyle has kind of been downplaying his abilities seemingly this season. Like, he's never been great, but he hasn't been doing well at all this season.
I think because he's tall, it was way easier for him to, like, wrap himself around.
Lanky? Like, could just koala bear it well?
Yeah, and
he's thin, too, so he could, like, he's not as heavy to pull him off, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he stays. Fessy's wrong. Wait. Oh, this is when Johnny goes down. He's like, D, your mama, to TJ. I wasn't sure TJ was going to accept it as something funny or not. Like, they got it quite well. And I was like, is TJ going to get mad at Johnny? And then he didn't. He laughed.
No, my mom's actually never played soccer before.
Oh, TJ, we love you. We stand you.
Johnny quite elegantly falls into the water. Fessy gets it wrong. He doesn't fall. Rogan gets it correct. Shucker. And he goes to Swaggy. Do you think that was going to be who he'd strike against?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's aligned with Wes. And he has a thing with Kyle, sort of, too.
Yeah, I guess he could. Well, you could have gone for Fessy, no?
Didn't Fessy already drop?
I thought Fessy didn't fall. Yeah,
I thought.
But also, Swaggy's easy for him to go for because.
And like it's I don't think like people who have skulls, like, they're not really gonna go after other people who have skulls, I guess. Like, it's just like it doesn't really matter.
Actually, that's a good point, because they did have that whole little breakfast moment with, like, Nelson and Corey and Fessy were talking about, like, this is the smell of red skull. So maybe they got some sort of bonding that's been happening. Oh wait, no, this is Rogan. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that he just, like, you don't want to make an enemy of Fessy. There's no reason to do that. Mm-hmm. He also has a red skull. Going against Swaggy like making any of swaggy is way less scary. So.
And maybe there's a pact with the Red Skull people being like, hey, like, let's win it to keep the other Red Skulls safe so we don't have to go and defend our Red Skulls.
Yeah, that's what I would do for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that that's something that also I think will be elevated in the gameplay if they keep the exact same format. I do still think that they need to tweak it, but like people will start be using like, okay, I'm going to go in early and get my skull and then like hide, or they're going to be like, no, I think they played it well last season, waited out for 6 skulls to go in, then go in, I don't know, but I think that people are going to use the twist a little bit better instead of playing scared. I think it's going to be, it's just when things are new, people are just too scared to get it wrong, but I think that people might work out a better strategy, and I think there'll be more strategy about using the skulls next season if they could.
I agree. I fully agree with that.
Who's next? Well, I guess when Rogan strikes Swaggy the next time. Yeah, he does it 2 in a row. Then Swaggy falls, obviously, because he's out. Fessy gets it correct. He strikes Kyle, and then Fessy falls. How'd that happen? Well, Wes got it correct. He doesn't fall. Then Swaggy, Fessy gets the thing. Oh my God, it's so hard to say these people's names right now. Swaggy Wes. Swaggy Wes. Pardon?
Yeah, Wes puts his on Fessy, and then Fessy falls. And then it's Rogan and Wes.
Correct.
And then, sorry?
They make a deal.
They make a deal, yes. They make a deal.
No, I just want to bring up Burger King again. So Rogan's says, like, during this deal, he really wants Burger King. I just want to know, do people like Burger King?
I'm not a Burger King fan.
I mean, I don't know if I wanted, like, I would turn on a sponsorship, Burger King, but I don't remember having Burger King in like 20 years.
No.
Yeah,
there's that sketchy Burger King at like Spadina in college or whatever, where I used to live near Kensington. I forget exactly where it is, but it's around there, and there's like a big one at the corner, and it's the sketchiest Burger King. And it's open 24 hours. Anyways, Burger King.
I mean, their fries are okay, if I remember correctly. Okay. Burger King's the Whopper?
Yeah.
When I ate meat, I used to have a Whopper maybe, but I don't even know where Burger King is right now. I don't think it's really.
No, Chantele, they have an Impossible Whopper now.
Yeah, I wanted you to look it up. Why don't you look up what is the Impossible?
It's plant-based.
Is it?
It's like the Beyond Meat.
Did they steal that from Wendy's?
From A&W.
No, but Wendy's also has. What's it called? Plentiful. No, it's called Plentiful.
Yeah, they all, like, A&W started, they were like, they worked on this burger in a secret lab.
In an egg. An egg that came out of the elephant.
And they hatched it, and then...
I have never had a Beyond Burger from A&W. I actually can't have Beyond Burgers anymore. Like, I've had maybe 10 in my life, and like I don't like the way they taste anymore. Like,
really?
At one point, like in the beginning, it was like, oh yeah, kind of like meat-ish, hello. But like then I was like, I started having the burp after, and it tasted like whatever weird flavor that burger is, and I'm like, I don't like it anymore.
Well, it's so funny, like, that you say that, because it is junk. Like, everybody is like, oh, like, this is so, like, I'm eating an Impossible Whopper, like, I'm really helping the planet. And it's like, no, like, it's junk. Like, there's so many, like, byproducts and everything in there. And I'm not, like, knocking junk, because I love junk food, but it's just funny that people are like, yeah, this is, like, it's a vegan burger. It's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to have it as an option, if I'm at a fast food joint, I will get the veggie burger of whatever it is. But I don't particularly like the Beyond Beef burgers anymore. I can't do it. It's over. Lost me.
And these are our thoughts on Burger King burgers. Thank you.
I mean, I haven't had that one. Like, maybe it's amazing.
Sponsor us.
Maybe it's the best burger I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, Burger King money.
So they make a deal, and we've got Wes and Dee now. So like, you know, they're basically the king and queen of this this challenge. Wes and his little disciple, his little prodigy, and TJ sweetens the deal with a nice little 5 G's a piece. I would be pissed if I was Rogan, and he said he was going to fall anyway, so he probably wouldn't have been able to outlast Wes, but like he fell, like he jumped off, and so I would feel like a child.
I laughed.
But I didn't want Dee to win any more money.
No, me neither, but like,
you know what? I'll be happy if she wins this and then doesn't win in the final.
Oh, we can only dream.
I'll be pleased.
I mean,
I thought it was so funny that TJ was like, then everyone's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, that's why you play to win. And I was like, I only wish you did that. Because this is what we've been wishing for so long, right? For when people show up in the dailies and then make some money. So I hope that that's a more consistent thing.
Yeah, you did mention that last week. And it's so true. Like that, I was kind of like, no, but like, after watching it, I'm like, yeah, that extra little motivation of a little cash prize here and there is like, it's nice to see people compete with that little bit added level of necessity.
Yeah. Especially since now it just seems like someone's going to throw themselves in, and then pretty much everybody kind of wants to go into the, you know what I mean? So like, it doesn't really matter who wins the tribunal that much anymore. There's not that many options. It's either like you're going in or you're not. Like there's no real politics. Like everybody's going to be talking to the tribunal unless you throw yourself in. And so it would still keep the stakes pretty high, even for people that already have their red skulls to compete well. So they can get that paper, extra money. I want more than, give me $1 million, $5,000. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
At all. So yeah, but Rogan gets no cash. Boom. Haha. So Rogan wants to go in, Johnny wants to go in, and he wanted to have first dibs. So he kind of starts talking to people and let them know that they want in. Now, I found this funny that it worked, but Nelson and Corey start really, really like just, okay, Wes, take the bait here, like...
The thing is, I did appreciate the moment and thought it was funny, and I actually was entertained by Corey and Nelson in this episode. It's true though, I was. But Wes knew what they were doing. Like he said, I know you're trying to manipulate me. Like whatever the reason he made this decision that he did, which obviously was pride and ego, I don't think was because of Nelson and Corey. I think that like he would have made the decision anyway, but it was still a funny moment to witness.
Yeah, because as soon as you see Tweedledum and Tweedledee like tumble through your door, you know exactly what they're up to.
Like, I just wish I would take Nelson this dumb all the time if he didn't have the aggressive other side. Like,
oh yeah,
so true.
I stand on Nelson, but not the rest of him.
Yeah,
that's true, and like I think that when he's just goofy and funny, that's where he's kind of charming. And so I saw in that little moment that I can see him having fun with Angela and them being kind of silly together and laughing. And so I was like, okay, so maybe that's where it is. Like he's just can be goofy and funny.
And it's really interesting because he doesn't like take himself seriously when he says something really stupid, and like a producer's like, that's not how fractions work. And he's just like, oh yeah, I guess they don't work that way. And he's like,
I'm not good at math. I'm like, that's not even math. Like it's barely even math. Like common sense.
There's some things that like I just assume that is like, I don't know if I just have known it all my life or when I learned it, but like that was one of them, that like it's gonna be 33 33 33, you know, like that's just something that I learned a long time ago. Maybe when we started learning how to use a calculator, you know, you learned about the 0.33333, like I don't know, but I was just like, Nelson. But yes, I enjoyed him the most all season this episode.
Yeah.
Sure, for sure.
Which isn't saying like that much, but it's saying something, you know?
Yeah.
We'll take it.
We will take it. So, wait. Oh, okay. So Josh wants to go in, but feels blindsided that Wes wants, that Bananas wants to go in. Like, okay, just you guys.
Blindsided. What? What? And this is the thing. And the way he talks about, I don't want to go in against Johnny. Like, this is he's my
friend.
He's my best friend here. Like, what am I going to do without him? I'm like, I've never seen you guys talk. Like, Johnny
at the bar last week.
Oh, right. But, like, they're not, like.
It's just like, what alternate universe are you in where you think that Johnny is one of your best friends? Oh my God, that was too much.
Must have been, though, they must have bonded a bit last season when it was when he put in Wes, right, with with the Laurel. So he probably thought that he got some props with Johnny there. And he's anti-Cara Marie and Polly, isn't he, as well as Johnny? So I think
like everybody is
always been on the same side as Johnny, so they probably discussed about things often last season.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some sort of bonding happened there, but I definitely don't know if they're buds, real buds. I haven't seen him on any of like Johnny's calls. Like Johnny only talks to like Wes, Jenna. Is that it? Morgan, obviously.
And I've never seen him really connect with him, but I mean, it's just another level to Josh's sort of weird.
I love how he's just like sweating every week, like, oh, and everyone is like literally not thinking about him at all.
No, like, dude, like, you will be in the end and you will not have to do the final because you're not going to have a red skull. And if you do go in, it's because one of the strong people's leaving you for the end as an easy out for them to get their red skull. Like,
he's won an elimination though before, has he not? Is he won it for 2?
I don't think so. No.
I don't think he's ever won one. No.
In War of the Worlds, he lost.
Yeah.
And then 2, he lost
to Jordan. Was that time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever gotten out of elimination as the winner.
No.
Yet. I think he will at some point. Like, you know, I want to see, like, I don't like hate him, and I would like to see him like do something successful and feel proud of himself in, you know, the challenge way. But
I guess like, sometimes I don't mind him, but I don't like how he blows up and yells and like his emotional outburst yelling stuff, and then there's no thought or like any, you know, just taking a look at himself, and like there's no growth. It just seems very vapid, and like I just want him to be a better person and just like be better. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, a lot. It's interesting because I was listening to the Rotten Bananas podcast this week.
Oh, I didn't listen to the whole thing. So was there certain points that you wanted to point out about it?
I love them so much, but they were like same thing. They were like, we like Josh, like we want to be rooting for him, but he's just so thirsty for like camera time, and the way that like he goes about it is just not great.
Like I didn't mind it when he was trying to flirt with Georgia a little bit. Like that was, you know, a little charming. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it was working, but like I didn't mind that storyline because he wasn't coming across mean. I liked when he talked about like how he likes Nani and like, you know, he would do anything for her. Like I liked him like having that like, you know, support with Nani. So I was like, no, okay, he can be all right, you know, like, but then he gets himself into these fights and arguments where I'm just like, I don't want to side with him because it's just like he's so annoying, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing really to like side with. It's just like all of this noise.
Yeah. It was like so this is where I was like, because obviously we saw the preview from the very beginning. We know that the epic battle's coming. And this is where I was like, okay, it's 100% this week. And my thought was that I think the whole thing was a setup. The whole thing. So from them deciding to be comrades in the thing, I feel like they waited the exact amount of time that they decided to. I think that it was a little bit more calculated on a production end as them. Like, I think that they did kind of come together and become friends, but I think that this whole storyline, them going up against each other, was all part of the deal, because this is where I just started to have that inkling.
I totally agree, because like we'll get to that in a bit, but the type of elimination that they had, I was like, that is so, like, it's just very like epic and like you're so tense and you're biting your fingernails, versus like last week where they were just like in dad's backyard throwing out sandbags from the truck. So which we all know, we've all had that one weekend where dad's making us do this stuff, the yard work. The yard work.
I'm a little conflicted on this,
okay,
because while I do think production obviously wanted this to happen, and while I do think that they catered, is that beeping me, or I don't know?
Well, it was me once, but I don't know if the second one was me.
Anyways, because just from what I've seen after, like all the social media and looking at what they've been saying, I mean, maybe it's lies, but like Wes really seemed nervous and upset at the end, like nervous that his energy before going in, like you could tell it was like a decision, like when he said like I think that Johnny, I think it was part of production for them maybe to work together and stuff, but I do honestly believe that they developed some sort of a rapport, and I do think that like they do have a mutual respect, and I think that like.
But couldn't it be that they had the plan to have this fake relationship, and then they actually became friends, and then they actually, now it's conflicted because he didn't think it was going to be hard for him before to go into the ring, but now they become friends, and now he gets to go and face, he's not his enemy anymore, he's his friend. Like, it just makes it work.
Yeah, but I mean, true, but also like from what, I don't know, I just think that like the likelihood is that Johnny didn't necessarily know that he was going to be going against Wes. I don't know.
I can totally side by that, but I just wrote down in that moment, I'm like, I think this is a setup planned all along. That was my feeling.
I agree with both of you. Like, I do like, yeah, Wes was pretty like nervous and sketched out, and I think that they were probably like really like, I think Wes wasn't 100%. I do agree with that. I don't think he was 100% about going in. And
what about when they're talking in the bar? Did I not say that we went to the bar yet?
I feel as though Wes was just like, I have to, like it, and they understand in a certain way, like this is also for our entertainment.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
There's no way that you can have like this season of the challenge and have these like stars align and then have Wes just be like, nah, I'm not gonna go against you. Like, you have to give us that.
I think that Wes wants to please the viewers, and he didn't want to come across as someone who like didn't go for it, and and that's his pride, but also like, yeah, he's serving the viewers, and like I don't think Bananas would have done the same if the roles were reversed. I mean, he even says that, but like,
really?
When we talk at the bar, like, I don't know, I don't think that Bananas would throw himself against Wes because what could he be so sure of he would beat Wes? Like, he's not risky enough. Like, Bananas wants to have the best chance of success. If he had to pick, he probably would pick Swaggy. Like, he has an ego, obviously, but I feel like he wants to still give himself an edge.
He wants to make sure that he's going to win. He doesn't never feel like he needs to prove something. He just like, I proved myself 10 years ago. Like, give me somebody easy. I just want to get to the end. I want the money. You know, he's more of a businessman in that sense. So that was when they were at their Burger King feast when he was talking about that. Because I was mixing it up because Bananas was wearing the Burger King's hat at the bar. And so anyways, I got a little confused. But that's when he was considering going against Banana. And that's when I was like, this is a setup. Like, no. I hear both the sides though. Like I could see it being a setup.
And I could see it being a setup too. Like the more you talk about it, I'm like, yeah, I definitely could see it. Yeah, but like I you know, we want to hope that it wasn't fully a setup. And even if it is, like, it was still a great moment. And I think Wes was genuine when he was like, in the confessional, he said something about like, oh, Bananas is taking this win away from me. He's taking my week away from me. I was like, yeah, it's like a bitter, he's like still that child within that's just like, oh, like it's not fair.
Well, think of it, say it is a setup and they were always supposed to go against each other, but maybe Wes wanted to be the one that calls down Bananas, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that maybe whether it was planned or not planned, like the fact that he didn't get to do the call out, he's like, fuck, he called me out. I had to say yes. Ah! Like, like that's what I think was the problem with the call out.
Wes is all about his narrative. Like he's the master of creating the narrative. And if he's like not in control of that, it just rattles his cage.
Yeah.
And what I thought was interesting though, so we're in the deliberation at this point. Okay, we can talk a little bit about Corey being like, oh, I don't know if I want to just hand you over a red skull. Like, well then why don't you suggest to be put in right now? Yeah. Like you could basically have them vote on whether they want you to go in and get your red skull. So like, why is he putting up a little bit of like an argument? Camper time?
Yeah, I mean, he's also trying to gain Banana's respect, I think. You know, like they're trying to be like clean slate. Like he's trying to like be like, I'm cool and I'm matured now. Like, and I'm still gonna be, you know, I'm gonna let you do this. I'm gonna respect you, so that when I want something, when I want to go against Swaggy next time, then you're gonna help me out or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
And sorry, go ahead.
I like that idea of I like that kind of that sort of thing. Like I like the blowback from nominating yourself. Like I liked all of that frenzy in this episode about people being like, yeah, we're almost at the end. Like, no, I want to vote myself in. Like, no, I want to do it. I want to do it. I like that flip on its head. And yeah, I mean, I think it was like stupid the way that like Nelson and Corey, well, I'm doing that whole thing, but I do like the idea of that where people are like, wait a second, like, I don't want that person to vote themselves in.
I thought that maybe other people would be like, well, like, no, let's vote. Like, who's gonna, like, we all want to go in, so who are we voting for? And
yeah,
like,
they should be smart. Like, the guys should not want him to get a fucking red skull. Like, I'm sorry, but
one of them are going to go in against him.
Don't let him go get a red skull. Like, if you really want to win the money, don't have him in the final. Don't give him the chance. Like,
make the proper vote, because if enough of them were like, no, we're actually going to vote today.
Yeah, it's like
that could have gone either way.
Absolutely.
But again, maybe that was a production thing. Maybe production was like, hey, we got to make this happen. Like,
they've been here X amount of weeks.
All their interviews are like, this would be the biggest battle ever. Like, all of them were obviously told to say this too. So
of course.
Well, and so were we there yet? Well, going with the the narrative that potentially this is a setup, the fact that Bananas puts Wes's name on that board, at that point I was like, okay, well, he knows that he's going in against Wes. Like, this is part of the deal. This is part of the thing. I don't know. Like, I know he was just being all, like, bananasy and, like, ha, 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 wouldn't that be funny? Ha, ha, ha. I don't know. So there wasn't really that much at the bar. I didn't slow it down to see the name of it. Did you catch it, Fanta? Bar Watch?
Yeah, Bar Watch.
It was a new bar. I guess they weren't allowed back.
No, I didn't see it, because what I've been looking for, I'm like, are there other people in this bar? Are they just renting it out again?
None. They were dancing a little bit more. I saw Anissa kind of on the ground a little bit, like.
Yeah, they randomly just have like intense grinding moments in the random bar where like no one else is around. It's how it goes.
Like somebody's house party.
This is your horny pool scene now. It's going to be grinding, 10 seconds of grinding at a random bar in Prague.
It's not enough. Damn it.
So, who comes in first? So, Banana's walking by, pretending not to see them. And Wes who is he sitting with? I don't know. I don't remember who he's sitting with.
He's sitting with Rogan and Dean.
Yeah, he's with Rogan. Kicks out Rogan and wants us to talk to Bananas by himself. And they talk aloud about the potential of going in and kind of like how he was feeling about, going in against Bananas. And this is also how I felt like they were blowing up the moment to make it even more epic, because even Bananas was like, I wouldn't do it if I were you. I'm pretty good at these things. And which he is. Wes is pretty good at these things too. I think he has a better track record if the numbers were at the end.
Yeah.
And so I was like, he's going in. I thought there's absolutely no chance that he's not going in.
Oh yeah, I know.
So
it was very obvious.
The scene was just, I felt, for like, to make it seem as though it wasn't a setup, but it's a setup.
It was that double whammy where you think there's a setup and it doesn't happen, but then it actually did happen. That's exactly what it was. Like that preview from the beginning where TJ's like, we've been waiting for this matchup. I was like, that's what it is. But is it true that they've never gone into elimination against each other before?
Now I'm thinking about it. Like, they would have showed a clip. It might have been the controller of them going in, but I don't think they've ever gone against each other.
No.
They've always like orchestrated like the other one like going in.
Yeah, you're right. So you know what? Yeah, I knew it was going to happen, and now it's happened,
I mean, we knew from the beginning or before the beginning that this was most likely. I know we speculated, like, is it going to be Nelson and Cor? Like, we knew it wasn't, but, we had to throw that in there just for that sake. Because, like, I don't know why if this episode would have been so epic if they didn't tease us with it from the whole season. Like,
because then you just like know if they hadn't had done that clip where TJ was like, I've been waiting for a matchup.
I would have been screaming.
You just automatically, you would have just fallen off your couch.
That said, it was
no.
Yeah, true. I would say though, like that said, it was still a very exciting moment.
Oh, I'm not discounting it at all, but I'm just thinking that we've all been all up. So is this the week? Is this the week? Haven't seen that scene yet. Like, you know what I mean? So we've been just looking for these little Easter eggs of like, has this content happened yet? Oh, she's not leaving because that hasn't happened yet. And so we're playing a little bit of detectives here. And I would have just loved to have been blown away because I rarely get like super surprised. And I think I would have been super surprised if I hadn't seen that. Like I would have been going along with it. Like I wouldn't be so like cynical about like it's a setup. I probably just would have been like, fuck, like I would have had a more authentic like shock.
So moving forward, we don't watch Next On, but we can't help our damn selves. Every time it's like Next On, I'm like, oh my god.
Of course they have to watch Next On, but I don't want Next On the entire season for 2 months, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that.
And I don't want that Next On. The greatest, like it's going to be them. I don't know.
You didn't think it was going to be them, okay?
What?
Remember when we talked about it and I was like, it's Wes and Bananas, and you were like,
in the beginning I said that.
We were basically saying like everyone else. We were like Jordan and.
We were trying to say, like, maybe it's somebody else because, like, why would they give us that clue from the very beginning?
Yeah.
Michelle, we thought it was too obvious, actually.
But no, all of our first instincts was it has to be Wes and Bananas. And then we talked ourselves out of it being Wes and Bananas because it was so obvious.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, we're just like, no, but it has to be them.
Michelle's just like, uh-huh.
It is also because it did seem too obvious. Like even I was like, maybe they won't, but I was like, it doesn't make any sense for it to be anybody else except for maybe Jordan against someone. But like Jordan and Bananas have already competed against each other. Like, you know, like I wasn't sure what it would be. And I was like, this has to be the answer. Like, this is just.
I mean, maybe they wanted the speculation all season. Like, we were only speculating because it would seem like it was too obvious. But our first initial instincts was it's going to be them too. And the other thing was before CT left, we're like, maybe CT and something. But we're like, like we compete against somebody, one of them before. So like, that doesn't really make sense. So would it be CT and Wes? And like, that's not really that big of a deal. So that was the other potential. But like, anyways, we knew. We just convinced ourselves otherwise because we thought it was stupid. So the tribunal, they want to leave out Josh. It's so cruel. But so they decided they want to invite to speak Kyle, Swaggy, and Corey. Pretty standard. There's not really that many people to choose from. Is Josh the only person that was left out?
Yeah.
Right. Well, like, out of the tribunal?
Well, like people
and Fessy.
Say again?
Fessy.
Well, he has a red skull.
Yeah, but they can still nominate him.
I guess so, yeah. So, but it's just Fessy then and Josh. Anybody else?
Did you say Corey and Nelson?
Oh, right.
No, but Corey was an option.
Yeah, Corey was it. Nelson, though.
Just Nelson. And Nelson has a red skull, too, so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just pretty much thinking about Josh, because I think all these people, none of them have skulls. Correct?
Yeah.
So Josh was still sweating, thinking that he's going in against his best friend, Bananas. Nope. Do you think he had any emotions or feelings when maybe Wes isn't coming for me? Like maybe he's constructed a bigger storyline than like having this tit for tat with Josh. Think he's had any sort of epiphany?
Wes or
Josh?
No.
Josh? No.
I think he was shocked when he was not nominated.
Yeah, he would just
shocked.
I think he really he really has this narrative going. Yeah. And then I bet if him rewatching this season, he was probably just like, I know what I felt. I know what I felt when I was in the house. And nobody can tell me any different. I know what I felt. I know what I felt when I was there.
It's true. You can't tell people how to feel and what their feelings are. So that's true. So all three of them. So Swaggy likes Johnny a lot. Kyle doesn't want to go in against Johnny because they're really good friends. Corey wants to be the plan B if Wes decides not to go, which I think was a better way to go about going in there and being like, hey man, I want to go in, but I know that this is your opportunity. So just to show them that you're malleable and that you're willing to work together and instead of it feeling like a throw-in type thing, I think that Corey is definitely playing his cards the best he's ever played it this season. For sure. Especially with his interaction in the tribunal. He's been in both seats many times. And I think that how he's been, last week he was a little bit wonky, but he's doing a lot better. So I don't know who's giving him some tips, or maybe he's now he's in it for the money and before he was in it for the camera time. I don't know what's shifted other than the fact that he's become a father, but I think he's really matured in his approach to interacting with people in the game.
Impossible things happen, and this is an example of that.
It wasn't possible that was made possible, like that burger.
That burger!
It's now our sponsors. Burger King presents to you the Impossible Burger.
So Kyle's nervous when he's talking to Swaggy about he doesn't want to go in, and Kyle's really being a chump this season. Come on, Kyle,
he's always scared of going in.
But it was so weird. So as you know, I'm rewatching Vendettas, and he's crushing Mitch dailies. He's just so and he's just crushing everything. So that's why I'm like, what?
Yeah, because when you're new, you don't have anything to prove, and he just was a little more I'm having fun. But now he's in it, and he hasn't been doing as well as he wants, and I think his confidence is a bit shaken, and he's I'm not as strong as these people, and I think he's honestly just scared, and he's just trying to hide in the background but still wants to win. It's very confusing.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. And like, I think also, I'm talking this out loud, so like, don't kill me if it's a really silly perspective. But, before I think he was the first Brit that, or like the cross country person, like coming onto the challenge. And so he was just kind of like doing his thing, thinking it's like X on the beach and Geordie Shore, and then he starts like, oh, there's strategy. Oh, I'm part of an alliance. Oh, I'm learning the game a little bit more. And I think now more that he knows the game, and then they switched everything up on him. And now he has to vote himself in, when before, like, all he's known so far is to stay out of elimination. I think that he doesn't really have the strategic chops to maneuver this portion of the game, because he's not a fan of the show, and he didn't come in like a normal organic way like most people did. I think it was a publicity thing, like with his publicist probably said like, hey, you got this show in America, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it for $100,000 or whatever. And he did it. And so I think that he doesn't know how to play the game, but he doesn't want to leave the show. Maybe.
And I think he also like wants to get better and like, wants to be recognized, but I don't think you're wrong there.
I miss his like pirate energy.
Yeah.
Maybe Cara Maria just sucked the soul out of him. She says she's a fun sucker. She sucks the fun right out of her room. So maybe she sucked the fun right out of Kyle. Because like even when they were doing their little thing, he was fun. Yeah, that's my take.
It's crazy to even think now that they were that thing then, and I don't even want to think about it now because I'm just like, oh.
I'm gonna send you only clips of them like
yeah.
Top clips. Sending it to you. Swaggy wants to what? Oh, so Swaggy though, he wants to beat the greatest player. So like this narrative now starting to come up with like the greatest player and the best player is Johnny Bananas. And if you're saying that around Wes, who has like a bigger, surprisingly, ego than Bananas does, like, no, there's no way anybody else is going in there but Wes. I know that they're trying to make us think that somebody else might, but if you're saying that Johnny Bananas is the best player, no, Wes is not going to let him have that title on his own. He's going to go in and face him. That's what I thought. And Corey's playing for his family, doing the whole kiss the picture of the family type thing, which is admirable, but that's who he's playing for now. So we go into Purgatory, and, TJ is really giving the stats, like really fluffing up Bananas' ego. Just like, Bananas down there, and he respects Bananas a lot.
Yeah.
And I still did get a little goosebumpy when TJ asked if Wes was going to come down and face the greatest, one of the greatest. And when he kind of was like, yeah, I'm doing it, and takes it off and goes down, I thought it was still an epic moment, even though I knew it was coming. I was pretty like, oh, man. And his pride really took over, though. I don't think it was the smartest move for him. I know it's like Inside's 2020, but like, I think that he should have known that he had at least one more week before a purge.
Yeah.
Because TJ just said last week that we're just over halfway. And so just over halfway just means that there's still at least 6-8 more episodes, you know what I mean? So, or like probably 8. So anyways, I just thought with the math that he should have known that he would have probably one more guy's week to get his skull.
Yeah, but I think it's also a worry that like if he doesn't win the next tribunal, he wouldn't have the chance to throw himself in. And he might not be able to get nominated because they could choose to not allow him since, that was his argument. But it's true. He had so many people on his side. If he had wanted to nominate himself the next week, he could have done that. Like, or he's been winning so many weeks. He could have just tried to win again or gotten Bananas to win. Like, there's so many people on his side that could have helped him.
He could have gotten a skull, I think.
Yeah,
for sure.
It had to have happened. Mm-hmm. Like, that matchup had to have happened.
And that's what Wes says, too. He's like, it just has to happen. Like, it just has to.
Yeah. Well, just like with the timing of it, both of them don't have the skulls. Like, it definitely wouldn't be nearly as epic if it was him against Corey or him against Kyle or him against Josh, like I would just be like, okay. But yeah, that one, it was worth it. I think, you know, as you were saying before, that Wes is a fan pleaser and the audience pleaser. And so I think he knew that he had to go in. Like, he couldn't let Bananas have that on him. Like, Wes had the chance, come down, face me, but decided not to. Like, he could never let Bananas have that, ever. So he had to go down. So the challenge is, so everybody kept on saying, like, now the confessionals of making challenge history. This is challenge history being made right here. Like, it did feel like it was an MMA fight, like fight of the century. Like, we're watching it on pay-per-view, guys. Let's get to the bar. Like, it was pretty epic how they kind of had the music and like the cheering and stuff like that. The two best players in, you know, the challenge history, the stars aligning here for this one. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's what I actually wrote down. I was like, fuck yeah. So it was charge the wall. And basically what they had to do, they had this huge wall with like a pretty dense material. Like it didn't look very easy to break through, but it was like, it seemed maybe about 20 squares high, maybe more, 25, and like 6 across or so. So it was quite a few squares, and they had to basically knock through all of them and find 3 out of all of them and take them out and then run it into their little charge station. And first one to 3, light them up, and yeah, they would win the purgatory. So what was your expectations going in? Like, the matchup is perfect, and supporting my theory that it was all planned all along, that it was very evenly matched up with both of their skill strengths. So neither of them were ever going to have a bad loss that would have been so humiliating, or like I felt like they did, the challenge that they had for them both to face was they were both looked honorable, whoever won or lost. And so that's where I was like, I don't know, it seems too perfect for you guys to get like the perfect challenge for you both to possibly win, for you to be like neck and neck the whole time, you know? But I still loved it. I was like,
yeah, I wasn't really, I honestly was on the edge because I didn't really know, because they were pretty evenly matched. But as soon as Banana said the thing of like, you got to be thorough, immediately I was like, that's what Wes is going to do. He's going to miss one and not see it and not be able to find it. And he's going to lose because of that. Because realistically, if he had actually been searching deep enough, instead of just looking into it, if he had actually been reaching fully and like making sure, who knows what would have happened.
Well, I wonder though, if he was thinking that after he found the first one, you know what I mean? Like, shit, maybe I missed it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, you were thinking that Johnny was thinking that?
No, Wes.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny did say that. He's like, you have to make sure that you're thorough. He wants to make sure that he is sure that they were all checked well.
Yeah, because Bananas was like, the worst thing ever would be to punch them all out and then realize that you're missing one and you can't find it because you didn't fully check properly. Because then you have to go through all of them and you don't know for sure. So I think that was definitely Wes's biggest downfall there. But I mean, it's a lot of it's luck too, in terms, since they're so evenly matched in terms of like who's gonna find which one first, you know? Yeah, but it was exciting.
It was very exciting. And I have to say, at the end of it, so spoiler alert, Johnny takes this one home. He gets all 3 of them down right when Wes finds his second one.
Yeah.
Johnny finds his third one. And with their hugs and stuff like that, I did cry. I did.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at me? I did.
Oh, it's a setup, and then she's like, I cried though. Like, yeah, I
was like, well, the way that Wes was being hugged, because he had his head down, and it was like, you know, and it was like a hug, like, you know, he's just like, and you know, Johnny's just being kind of like, Dad, like, no, you did good, kid, you know, like that kind of hug. And it was,
and you could tell that Wes was so upset, like
he was so upset. And he kept like looking back at the board and just like, where did I go wrong? Like, how did this happen?
Oh, I felt so bad.
I'm really
nervous.
I'm really happy that Bananas won.
Yeah, me too.
I would rather watch Bananas do a final than Wes.
Well, probably also because like he'd be helping out Dee and Rogan. You know what I mean? Like they would be.
Yeah, I don't like the people that Wes always works with in that way. And this is it's Banana's 20th season. It's his season to win right now. And like I love Wes. Well, like I've always been a more Wes stan than Bananas, but like in this season, it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
For Bananas to see if he can go and just like fucking go all the way. And like, yeah, I don't know. I like Wes in a final is good, but I think, yeah, it's going to be more exciting this way.
Yeah, Bananas is definitely like more fun to watch. And it was funny, like, because you could see the looks on everybody's faces when Bananas won, and they were like, especially like the dudes, like, shit. And then did you see when TJ was like going on about, oh, and like, there you have it, like legendary player, whatever, and then Corey rolls his eyes?
I missed that.
I saw that.
Yeah, Corey rolled his eyes. Like TJ was like, yeah, like, and there you have it. Like he's legendary player, whatever. And then Corey just like rolls his eyes.
Like, Corey, how many times have you won? Like, what?
I know.
Exactly.
Like,
Corey,
what do you have to prove yourself?
The eyes for anything you've done on the show, like many.
So funny. But yeah, I'm very excited to see that.
Second once though, right?
I've been missing, what's that?
Corey came second once though, no?
He's been in a final before, and he placed maybe second or third.
The one where they're running in the city, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really
remember
his
Bloodlines. We don't talk about that season.
No.
Cousin.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't even really remember it because
cousin.
Oh, Mitch. Mitch was his cousin, right?
No, but I was making fun of Kara for calling Jamie.
That season had a lot of annoying people that made it to the end, to be honest, from my memory.
Wait, Jenna made it with her cousin, though, no?
Yeah, her sister? I don't know.
I'm just making names up now. I don't know.
I was like,
Jenna, cousin, Jamie. You were going to say something Fanta, and I cut you off.
No, I think I was just going on again about how excited I am to watch Bananas in a final. And
yeah.
It's gonna be
getting down to it. I'm ready for the final to approach and to see what they're gonna do. Because if there's like too many people with skulls, like if they're only picking 6 for the end or 8 or however many for the end, it's like there's still gonna be some sort of a thing, and I'm excited for that. Like wheels are turning. Like I want to see how it plays out. It seems like Fessy's going to be in the final. So like, how's he going to do? And how's Casey going to do? And will Anissa finally get it? Like all of that.
I really do want next week to be Nani's week. Get her fucking red skull and Nani run a final. You know,
go against Melissa. Get your skull. Go.
Yeah, I am really curious to see how everyone's gonna pan out and see how the whole avoiding to get your skull thing is gonna kind of play out for them. So yeah, I'm at a point where I'm ready to.
You also know that Bailey's gonna be wanting to go in too, like, or maybe. I mean, she's been kind of avoiding everything too, so.
But as like I've been commenting, so we still haven't seen the scene when Dee is in a hall brawl. So hall brawl against Jenny?
That would be insane.
That would be.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if Jenny was like, I'm taking you out. I'm going to take you out myself.
Oh yeah, like if she wins and Dee gets thrown in for some crazy reason, and then Jenny's like, it's fucking hall brawl, let's go. That would be great.
That's not happening, but how could, there's no way that, unless the tribunal throws in Jenny against. Yeah,
it could also be, I don't know. We'll have to see, but I can't wait.
I'll be like, I knew!
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just want to know what's going to happen in that scene. I don't want it to be against Nani because I feel that Dee has a little bit more size on Nani and a little bit more like lower body strength, and she could probably take down Nani. But Nani's kind of scrappy, so maybe she can get around and be fast.
I mean, Nani's been in enough fights. And I think she's pretty, it depends how much she wants it. I feel like she really wants it this season.
Yeah. Go ahead. I think that I think it was like one thing we didn't really talk about as a moment in this episode, because Nani's been getting so much hate, like for how that whole thing went like last week, but which, I mean, we've talked about, like, I don't agree with that at all. We generally don't agree with that. And I just loved how this episode, she was like, I'm glad that, like, they were a distraction. I'm glad they're gone. They were distracting me from my game. I'm here to do this. Like, I'm here to win. And like, that's the thing that's like true. It's like those two were so distracted with boys.
Yeah.
And like in Rotten Bananas, they were talking about that too. And they were like, our conspiracy theory is like that it was like a win-win situation for Kayla to basically be like, I want to go in against Casey. Because if she won, she would have looked like a badass. And if she lost, like, Bear's still at the hotel.
Yep.
And I think, like, that's the thing that's so frustrating, is that you don't really see that. Like, that's not really at the forefront. But of course, Nani knows that. Like, these are her best friends. And she's just like, oh, like, but I actually want to win this. So, like, when they leave, she's like, hey, let's do this thing. Which I love. That's what
Let's see Beast Nani come out.
Beast Nani.
Yeah, let's see it.
And another podcast I was listening to, I believe it was on Rob Has a Podcast, they were talking about how, like, it would be a pretty good finals trio being Anissa. We talked about them a little bit, just being, like, supporting each other, but Anissa, Nani, and Casey, like, working together in a final, like, you know what I mean? If they have to do any things in pairs or whatever, help each other out, like,
Great.
I would be supporting the team of three, like, getting to the final and getting to the end and taking the top three spots if it's tiered down money-wise.
Oh, for sure.
So I was like, I like them working together. I like this being her new Trinity, Golden Trinity, whatever.
Yeah, I like that as an alliance much better. I like it much, much better.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. Do we have anything else? Have we said everything?
Oh, we said it all.
Laid it all
Made
down.
it far. Bless you.
Yeah, bless you. It's not as long as usual. Maybe only an hour and a half.
Usually we get into that hour 45 territory.
No, I think we're still before that, so we're still good in that regards. Well, if you are here till this part, thank you for hanging out with us. Please make sure you subscribe right down below. Hit that like button, ring the bell, so every week when we have a lovely episode for you, you can listen to our antics. And other than that, stay well, support great causes, and be kind to one another. We love you, so love everybody else too, please. Please.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Perfect time.
Woo!